So why is it important for community pharmacy teams to reach out to their local MPs?
Well, MPs can be really useful and important advocates for community pharmacy. They're obviously influential in their local constituencies. We hope that they'll have an understanding and share our vision for what community pharmacy can do in the future. And obviously we want to use them to help prevent any further funding cuts for community pharmacy.
Okay, but what can we do?
Well, there are lots of ways for pharmacy to engage with MPs. At local level, LPCs do a lot of this work, so they're probably having meetings with local MPs. One way that pharmacy teams really directly can get involved is by hosting community pharmacy visits for MPs. So that's where an MP comes in to pharmacy, talks to the pharmacist and the team, sees what you're doing, maybe talk to local patients as they're coming in, and really finds out what goes on day to day in a community pharmacy and how valuable that work is. As well as that, there are also, as part of the national campaign for community pharmacy, lots of things going on around social media, and last year we saw a couple of big action days where we asked pharmacy teams to really get involved and start tweeting about the difference that they were making to patients. We provided template tweets and things for you to contact your MPs to say, look at this, isn't it fantastic, and will you be our supporters? So looking out for things like that is great, and we highlight all of that on the PSNC website and in our publications, so look out for those.
As a pharmacy team member, how would I find who my MP is?
Well, first point of call can be your LPC, so if you wanted to write to your LPC and say, how can I get involved, they will be able to tell you who your MP is and how you can support their work. You can also find out yourself on the parliament.uk website, and if you do want to get involved in helping to lobby your MP, it's a really good idea to do some research about the MP. If they're a new MP, obviously there won't be that much history to their parliamentary activity. If they've been an MP for a while, you can look up what they've said in Parliament. So it's worth having a look at, is this someone who's supported pharmacy before? What have they said about pharmacy before? It just might give you some ideas of particular things or services that they'd be interested in.
So if I want to get my MP to come into my pharmacy to see what we do, how could I initiate that?
Well, you can start by having a look at the PSNC guidance on arranging a pharmacy visit, because in there we've got, for example, a template letter that you can send to your MP, which does that job for you, really. MPs should be really open to this idea at the moment. They are always interested in their local constituents and keen to meet with them. They also particularly want to show that they're supporting local health services, so this is a really good way for them to do that. You should find that opposition MPs will be interested because they really want to hold the government to account for health services. So they'll want to come and hear what local health providers have to say, what's helping them, what's not helping them, what do they need to do their jobs. Conservative MPs are also likely to be feeling pretty shaky after the last election. Lots of them will have lost big chunks of their majorities. So again, they'll be really keen to come and listen to their local constituencies and find out how they can show support for them. One thing that can make the visits really attractive to MPs is offering them a photo shoot, because again, it just gives them that way to show their local constituents that they're really helping them. You can offer to promote it to the local media or on social media, and all of that just helps to create a bit of a buzz, and it gives them more reasons to want to come.
As a pharmacy team member, I wouldn't necessarily know who my LPC is and how to contact them. How would I find this information?
Well, the first step would be to talk to your responsible pharmacist or the pharmacy contractor or owner. They will almost certainly be in contact with the LPC, so they should be able to give you some direction. You can also go on the PSNC website and find out where your local LPC is, and all of the LPCs have their own websites, so they'll have contact details on there as well, so you should be able to get emails and telephone numbers.
So once I know who my LPC is, would they be able to help me to contact and get in touch with the MP?
Absolutely. The LPCs have been doing lots of work with MPs, so the chances are your LPC will have an ongoing relationship with the MP. They'll know what they're interested in, they'll know what visits they've done, what things it would be really good to show them, so they will certainly be able to help.
Once we've arranged a visit with the local MP, what should we expect and what should my role be as a pharmacy team member?
Well, I think the key to any successful MP visit is planning. So you need to have an idea when the MP walks through the door of what it is that you want to happen. So I would suggest that you think carefully about the time of day that you want to arrange the visit for. It needs to be a time of day that you're going to be available to talk to them, but also one at which you are going to have customers and patients coming in so that they can genuinely see the day-to-day activities. I always think a good idea is to think about a service or maybe two services that you can really focus on. Just gives you something easy to talk to them about. You can show them how the service actually works, they can ask questions about it. You'll probably be comfortable because it's a service you're used to offering, so you're not doing something new and you go with the flow a little bit. The MP is likely to ask you questions about, what's it like, how do you feel you're helping patients, how hard do you have to work, that sort of thing. So you can talk to them honestly about all of that. I think the key point is always to try to stay positive. So the real aim is that we want MPs to go away thinking, gosh, isn't community pharmacy great? They're working really hard and what a difference they're making, and I'd really like to see them doing more. So you get that across by being positive, by showing them the difference you're making. You can also be quite candid about how much hard work it is and any things that are blocking you from doing more, things that are frustrating you. But again, it needs to be constructive, so you're not moaning, but you're saying, actually, this is really difficult and it would be much easier if this happened instead.
And what about asking the MP for support?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to do that, definitely. There are lots of ways that MPs can offer support as well. So they can table parliamentary questions, or they can write letters to ministers or have conversations with ministers. And all of those things PSNC and your LPC can help with if you suggest them and they come back and ask for drafts. So do get in touch with us if you need help with that. One really easy way that MPs can show their support is by joining in with the activities of the all-party pharmacy group in Parliament. And they have meetings and debates which the MPs can join in on. So that would be a really useful thing to promote to MPs.
What is the all-party pharmacy group?
So the all-party pharmacy group is a group of MPs from all different parties who exist and get together to promote the profession of pharmacy. So they do a range of activities such as holding meetings, launching inquiries, they write reports, all looking into pharmacy. So what is pharmacy doing? What should pharmacy be doing? Are the national policies about pharmacy correct? In recent years, they've looked at issues like stock shortages, so they've wanted views from pharmacy team members about the impact that that's having on their workload. They look at pharmacy policy, so they've done an investigation on the funding cuts, and for those they can often call ministers and NHS officials into meetings to hold them to account. So they're a really useful advocate for the sector and a way of getting even more MPs involved in supporting pharmacy.
So you want us to contact locally, but what is PSNC doing on our behalf?
So PSNC works closely with all the other national pharmacy organisations on an ongoing MP lobbying campaign, and that involves issuing briefings, for example, ahead of debates on pharmacy to ask MPs to join in, having meetings with MPs, giving them briefings, that sort of thing. In particular, at the moment, we're focusing on engaging with MPs at the party conferences. So these are the conferences that all the political parties hold in the autumn, where they get together and hear about anything and everything and think about the year ahead. So we've got stands in the exhibition and we're organising events and roundtables. And again, that's just all focused on building those supportive MPs, making sure they know the latest issues in pharmacy so they can represent us in Parliament, and making sure that they want the same things as we want for the sector. We also offer support and guidance, particularly to LPCs in their local engagement with politicians. So we have a page on our website which has got a host of resources, things like the guidance on MP visits and template letters and press releases after you've done visits, and briefings and infographics that people can use to really have conversations with MPs.
So how does PSNC support my local LPC?
So we offer a range of services to the LPCs. We give them updates by email in particular about lobbying and public affairs, so that's giving them a heads up on what's happening in Parliament, what's coming up and how they can help. We also have a range of resources and materials for them to use, and that includes briefing documents and infographics to give to MPs, and just guidance on how to approach the MPs and have discussions with them. We also talk to LPCs on a one-to-one basis when they contact us, so if they have a meeting with an MP set up, we can talk to them about what the focus of that might be, what interest their particular MP might have, and how they might want to pitch those messages.
As a pre-registration pharmacist, do you consider this as an active part of my year?
If you're spending your pre-reg year in a community pharmacy, then I think this will be a part of your life there. Over the past 18 months in particular, it's been really important for community pharmacy to make its case to MPs and to ensure that they really are advocates for the sector. It's highly likely that you will see some campaign days during your time, in which case, fantastic if you can be tweeting and involved in that and contacting the LPC and the MP and patients and showing what you're doing.
There are a lot of councillors and MPs that visit our pharmacy on a daily basis, but as patients, would it be appropriate for me to approach them, and how would I go about doing this?
I think you need to be a bit careful about that. I think it can be absolutely appropriate to engage them briefly, but first and foremost they're coming in as the patients, so that needs to be borne in mind. I'd suggest that it's only a time for positive engagement really, so you don't want to start launching into a big complaint to them. But perhaps if you have a new service or something you'd like to promote, you could tell them briefly, say, we've got this new service and would it be okay to email you with more information about it? That way you're asking the question, but you're not pushing too much on them when they're actually coming in as a patient.